Hello and welcome to Silence the House. We're here today with Lazy Nick.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is a visual novel, and I'm actually playing from her account because I'm a cheap piece of crap that don't have money for it.
It's
So we're doing that.
yeah. Well, I got it for free. One version and the other version I bought, so we're even, I guess.
You see, this is what I deal with. Anyhow, new game.
New game. Let's start.
Okay, let's begin.
True miracle is to see your own sins. Anthony the Great.
Yeah, because Anthony was the great at some point of time.
The greatest of them all.
Okay, I need to actually.
Yeah, forgot. Click again. You can't use space, so you have to
You
click.
read or I read it?
The main character is a girl,
Okay.
so I can read the internal
Well,
dialogue. I don't
Go
care.
on then.
It has been a while since we left New Lake Road. How close are we? I have never been to this place before, so I'm not sure how long it should take us to reach our destination. Last time I was carried away to an old inoperative factory on the outskirts of town. Before that, I was wandering around the plantation to the villa once. There was even an asylum in the heathlands. I think the factory was my favorite. Maybe I should visit it again. We travelled along the narrow grey path that was buried under the leaves. It was not the wind, but some other forces that brought them here. This scene was as fake as a smile on Grace's face. The leaves were arranged in such a way so that they would not cross the edges of the narrow path, obediently sparkling in the beams of our flashlights. It reminded me of a twisted version of an old German fairy tale, Hänsel and Gretel, and in this version the naive children rushed right in the jaws of an unspeakable creature. I know.
The thing is, if you read the actual real fairy tales of the Green Brothers, they're very dark. Like shit, bad, crazy dark.
Yeah, well, Hansel and Gretel, how it's pronounced in English, it sounds so stupid. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, even in Ukrainian, it's Gensel and Gretel, not like Hansel.
Yeah, well, in German it's Hänsel und Gretel, so it's just a bit slower. I should say it's I don't know, but yeah, that fairy tale isn't. It is as dark as you get it in
Yeah.
the cut version, but I believe it's not as gruesome, the death of the witch, in the child-friendly version than it is in the original.
Yeah,
Other than
I
that,
mean-
it is about the same.
Yeah, I mean, in the original, they put her into the oven and let her burn alive.
Yeah.
The more you know, kids, the more you know.
Well,
no,
it's still
it
not
is
as
not
gruesome as Cinderella or
Oh yeah. The part where she just had to let her stepmother dance in the in, how do you call it in English? Like they were melting hot.
Oh no, that's Snow White. That's Snow
wait,
White.
No, that's not white. Yeah.
Cinderella is with the evil stepsisters that cut off their toes and the back of their feet so they fit into the glass slipper. But of course, the prince in the last second sees the blood, and I'm like, they cut it just now so they fit into that shoe. How did you not see the blood when they put their feet into it and the pain on their faces? And overall, the story is so stupid. They dance together.
Forget the faces. They're missing part of their legs. The part you're looking at to put on a shoe. Anyhow, we're completely off track with this.
Yeah, as usual. Yes. Lloyd put his foot on one of the leaves which was found over the edge of the path, and the silence was broken by his hoarse voice.
Hoarse voice, yeah. Man, it's been an hour since we entered this freaking forest.
I love his tattoo, by the way. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Hang on, guys. We're almost there.
I've heard before, Grace. And this is what, the third time?
I don't think there's a need to go any further, guys. This forest itself gives me the creeps. Maybe we should just stay here for the night.
I agree with that. Kate, what do you say if we have sticks in front of this pretty little something? Yeah, because that's what we do. Apparently, Martin and Kate.
Of course, all the time.
They look 17-ish.
That's the art style, but yeah, they are what, high schoolers or maybe college kids, but maybe, only maybe.
If this hooked snag on it were a real nose, I bet he would stick it under your sexy topic right into your island of pleasure. Oh god, please no.
Yeah.
Nobody says that. Nobody says it that way.
No, the first time I read it, since I played, what, an hour of this? Half an hour? I was like, what is going on? Why?
Yeah. It's like, why?
Why
Why you like this?
Was Kate the left one or the middle one?
I think Kate is the one holding the thing right here on the left.
That purse thingy? Okay. That makes you think that I will let you do anything with my body, you piece of shit. Can somebody please remind me why I'm still going out with such a pervert?
If you had enough of this shit, you should hang out with me, babe. Yeah, because I'm cool and hip and I've got a lizard tattoo on my wrist.
Yeah, well, I was planning to get a dragon tattoo on my wrist.
I mean, dragon is cooler than a freaking lizard.
Yes, definitely. But it's a tattoo. It makes everyone look cooler,
Yeah.
you know. Nope.
And what about you, Grace?
Nah. If you think that you are some kind of superhuman who is not afraid to accompany me into this spooky abandoned house, do not fool yourself. Your so-called chivalrous act is just a trick to get me into bed. You need to try harder to get my juicy butt. You heard that?
I have a chance. I like how he's always says to me, you have to try harder. Also, I do have a chance if I try harder. Sweet. What made you so friendly today?
It is my birthday, after all, and we are going to have a party. What do you have for brains? Shit?
Uh-huh.
It is a very special day. She's such a lovely lady.
Oh yeah, she is.
It is special indeed. Today, Grace holds the stage, but her acting is still not good enough for an Oscar. It is bad, but everyone seemed to fall for optimism. Oh, I almost forgot that you're with us. Come on, I have plans for you.
Oh, so you are into girls. What a twist. Look like you're dead in the water now, Lloyd.
You are surely a cutie, Ashley. Is this in this panda hood, but it is still not enough for a girl to win my heart, yet again. The end of her phrase was said very quietly, but I heard it. I smiled wryly. Looks like all of us have a skeleton in the closet, but what if the closet is the size of a house? The silly idea came to my mind when I saw this colossal house. I felt like something was coming. The house seemed to be flickering on the crossroads of reality and imagination in the land of a future unseen. Its secrets were hidden in darkness, just like the forest. The weak yellow lights were jumping from one tree to another, running along the path and flickering in the night. I knew that we would soon approach the house, but maybe it's not too late to turn back and forget all about this shit. Maybe, just maybe, I've had enough of this. So I asked myself, do you wish to save them, Ashley? This is actually a way to end this game really quickly.
Yeah, I've heard about that, and I've played first 20-ish minutes with my girlfriend, and she said, yeah, okay, so if you pick one of this, you'll end the game right away.
Yes. So
I don't remember which was it.
Well, it's rather easy. Do you want to save them?
I mean, there are pieces of, but I do, I guess.
All right, then save.
Save, right?
Save. You don't want to play this again, do you?
Okay, I think I know what the right answer to this question is.
Oh, do you?
I'm gonna pick no.
Oh, it is actually quite interesting ending. Well, not. It has a twist to it.
Okay, frick it. We'll go with yes.
So I asked myself, do you wish to save them, Ashley?
We'll go with yes. And Ashley says,
Well,
honestly,
my game doesn't want to play.
oh. Well,
Hello, game!
I'm gonna pick it up from here.
Do so.
Honestly, I don't really like the idea. Maybe we should just go to the amusement park that opened this week. We can go there right now. It's only 8 p.m. and it's a birthday party after all, not a funeral. It's whatever you decide, Grace. And Grace and Ashley I think we can even take your little brother with us, but we should go to the highway and call Ella first to make sure that she doesn't drive to the empty house. Yeah, by the way, while I'm reading this, you should restart the game and get to the point where I am.
Yeah, I'm trying. But
Miss him. And here we go. Tears welled up in my ears. Or eyes, or whatever.
Ears or eyes?
Yeah, ears or eyes. There's totally not different things at all.
No.
Grace as asking, what the hell's going on here? Of course, they were asking that they didn't know that their brother had been kidnapped by me to make Grace get us all here. So, wait a minute. Our main hero kidnapped Grace's brother?
Mm-hmm.
Make Grace get us all here. However, I've changed my mind. I'm sick and tired of being controlled. Being a pawn does not suit me. But I'm ready about the house. I bet it would be cool to stay there for a night. Don't you agree, guys? Who wants to go to the amusement park? Everyone but Martin rose their hands. The end.
Yep.
You saved everyone. Well, almost everyone. There was an accident in the park. Grace fell from the great height and crashed to death. Martin was taken away by the ambulance. For some reason, he kept shouting, and it must have been me. She's mine, mine. Did he really love her so much that he was ready to die instead of her? But is that so? You decide. Yeah, I mean, it was a small accident of Grace dying and Martin taken by an ambulance, but in the end, everything worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason, I thought, when I named the first part of this, for some reason I thought the silence the house.
No, it's silenced. But it's okay. It's a horror game, and usually you're supposed to be quiet to not get killed, right? To not get found by the killer, so you don't get killed.
Yep.
So yeah, it somehow applies, but this is more of a ghost haunted whatever house. So
So the
yeah,
house is the killer this time.
yeah, pretty much.
I remember the cartoon. I don't remember the name of it, but I do remember I saw one where the house was like live, and it was possessed by a spirit of the owner's dead wife. Yeah, it was a cartoon.
It sounds familiar, but not sure if I've watched it.
Anyhow, we're getting off track right from the start. This is good content. This is what you call a quality content here on YouTube. Second episode,
100% professional. Professional
So,
to a T.
anyhow, so I asked myself, do you wish to save them, Ashley?
No,
No, we don't.
they aren't worth the chance. I must stick to the plan. The forest, like a hungry beast with trees for teeth, devoured us in a cold, dead night. Their branches looked like crooked hands. They struggled to rip our faces off. Or maybe we just couldn't realize their true intentions. Maybe the trees were torturing themselves, wickedly twisting their branches to set a warning for us that in the end of the path, which was flickering in the beams of our flashlights, the darkness was waiting. Lloyd looked really nervous. He was haunted by the rustles, and it made him mad. His hand that was clutching a flashlight was swinging like some kind of pendulum with a glowing demonic eye. As the flashlight was only uncovering things lurking in the darkness, and that it couldn't immediately burn his phantom enemies alive, it scared him even more. I heard a strange sound and raised my head to see that it was just a crow. The beam of light ran through the black feathers, and the crow merged with the night. I am the only one who actually knows what the darkness is hiding, but I'm still scared. My fears are not that simple. It is not what you feel when your reflection refuses to obey. The illusions in the bathroom mirror can't scare the shit out of me.
This is so angsty.
It is. It's like a teenager in its...
I think they are teenagers.
Did we establish that? Did we say that? I can go roll with it. It is just not enough. What really scares me is that the plan could fail. When you follow the untrodden path, you are always on thin ice. What I'm really curious about, since I've played a bit more and I know a bit more about what is going on, I'm really curious why. If the question why is answered in the end or not. Since you get, alright, she has to do this and that, and this and that happens. I'm not spoiling anything. But you don't get the why of why is she doing that. Only that she's somehow linked to the house. We saw that or read that in the last part, so I can say that she's somehow linked to it, and that house can take different forms. But meh.
I mean, she can just do it for shits and giggles for a weekend.
Yeah, but I'm always curious about the why. You know, I'm a psychology student. I want to know why.
You want to know why, you want to know the reasons, like the subtext of why. You know, there's always a deeper why beneath the just plain old regular why. It's
Of course.
Why'd you kill your friends? Because I hated them. Yeah, but why? Because they suck. Yeah, but why?
Oh god, I hated that when I was at a counseling for my studies at the university, and the person just kept asking why, and at some point I was like, I don't know. Stop with your why. And they were like, calm down. It's just maybe it triggers something and you can answer some more. That's why I keep asking. I'm like, all right, but maybe do it in a different way because it makes me really nervous if someone asks me again and again, why, and then why, and why exactly? Why?
Why?
Why are you doing this to me? Why?
Anything to you. That's what you know.
Of course. Alright. I feel like I'm lost in a boundless ocean, searching for a shark to ask if the human flesh is delicious. It probably isn't. Although it's supposed to taste like chicken. The more you know.
I'm really afraid to ask, so where do you know this?
The Hannibal series
Oh,
and movies.
okay. Well, now you know why.
Yeah! Do you really want to talk to a shark, Ashley?
I mean, we can,
Actually, if I was able to talk to a shark, I would. I would love
yeah,
to talk to
yeah,
them.
you can play the game that.
Right, there's a dating
Roman
sim
played.
with.
Yeah, the dating sim with the sharks. So that's, by the way, that's a thing, and you can check it out on my other friend's channel. Why they're dating. Yeah, this series will be a shameless plug for all of my YouTube friends, by the way. So
We have to find something to link to Phil and Andrew. Although no,
Yeah.
not Andrew after what he did yesterday.
What did he do?
You
Oh,
know,
mean the
the Rick-rolling stream.
Oh yeah, that was. Andrew, if you're watching, you're a little piece of shit. Yeah. So let's continue.
I wonder whether or not I'm still sane. Probably not. The weak beam of light was sliding along the path full of faded leaves. Then suddenly something on the ground caught my eye. Oh, shit, what the heck? It was a dead crow.
Yes, it is Sherlock.
Yeah, sadly it's a dead crow. Maybe the one I had seen earlier, nobody knows, I doubt that. You would have heard it.
Yeah.
Well, its eyes were sparkling in the beam of light. It was staring at me, and that gave me the creeps. Of course it's staring at you. It's just a dead bird. I've seen much worse in horror movies.
Do you often see dead crows in horror movies?
Pretty often, yeah. Why do you ask? We've recently watched a movie, and in the beginning the dudes ran into dead crows in the forest just before the massacre began.
Oh, I wonder, what is this foreshadowing?
But that was the point in the game I was asking myself, are there really that many crows in horror movies? I can't remember. There's of course the movie Birds, but I don't think there are that many crows. There are different kinds of birds.
Yeah, they're pigeons,
Um,
mostly.
and
I don't remember.
if anything, the crows are used as a symbol of witchcraft. It's no. Otherwise, I don't think they're used that often. Although they are supposed to be the
Like death bringers or something like
yeah,
that.
the messenger of death.
Yeah, the messenger of death.
But other than that, I don't really remember them being anywhere. Although you do hear the cry of a crow pretty often, but you don't really see them.
Well, I mean, there was a movie, The Crow, but that wasn't actually a horror, and it wasn't a terrible. Well, it was good first time.
First time.
Yeah.
Alright.
And, yeah. For its time, it was good. Now, if you see this, well, it's okay.
That's with most of the older movies. If you're not in the mood for them, they're so
Oh,
much
yeah.
slower and take so much time, and they're normally less. If you're
Yeah.
in the horror genre, less bloody and splattery because they are more of the psychological horror. So it takes time and it's more about the atmosphere than the actual scariness of the monster and something like that.
Yeah, but you see, I do like psychological horrors more because, like, the
Agreed.
plotting gore doesn't scare me. It's the anticipation of seeing blood and seeing gore that scares me.
Well, the splatter and gore is normally just a sign for me not to not watch the movie. It's more like, alright, I'm not going to get really scared, but more
Yeah.
of a jump scare and then limbs getting cut off and then great.
I mean, this is why I love Silent Hill 2. It's not about gore or blood or something. It's about you being alone in a town where everything can happen, actually, and it's not like everything's gonna chase you.
Yeah, it's just if the atmosphere's right, if it's done right,
Yeah.
then the movie or game or whatever is perfect for me. But then you have for that I must say Resident Evil had a good mixture of both, having the gory aspect with the bakers being undefeatable and you could hurt them as much as you liked and they would still stand up, walk to you and try to kill you, especially that scene in the garage.
I mean, Resident Evil series redeemed itself in my eyes with this, like, seventh part because Resident Evil 6
Mm,
wasn't for me. Let's just say it wasn't.
no, the other parts are meh. The
Yeah.
first few were good
First, yeah, the first
Dur-
one,
in the in the
third one,
in their time.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
then it was just mix and repeat.
yeah. And then again, they again redeemed themselves with the more of a survival horror, actually,
Yeah,
in the seventh part.
yeah, definitely. All right, watch Phil's part for that. Phil's playthrough, stream, whatever. It's not
yeah,
up on
by the way.
YouTube. No, it's not up. It's not up.
Oh.
Or did he? Did he? He said no. It's up again. It's up again, so you can watch it.
So again, all the links will be down in the description below, and we should continue probably because we'll take forever.
We are probably recording for 20 minutes now, just talking about random shit.
Yeah.
All right.
All the people on my screen is a picture of Dead Crow, so
I saw the Spirit of Death only after my live stream was over. It reminded me of those days that I was imprisoned in a mental hospital. The walls of my ward were my only friends. Now comes the part where I rage quit. Sometimes I really wanted to discuss the weather outside with them. Of course, the staff didn't neglect their everyday duties, and the doctors regularly visited me to ask only one question: how are you doing today? Actually, a tape recorder in repeat mode asking how are you would be just the same. Just like the tape, the therapist wouldn't even change the words or say anything else. Perhaps he already knew how I was, or he didn't care. Anyhow, every time he asked me, my answer was the same: silence. Always the best of you in theory. Therapy. I only showed the same article torn from the newspaper about my family burnt alive in a car accident. That crow reminded me of the very first ink blot in a Rorschach test. So the train of memory suddenly started to chase me along the rusty rails imaginarily built under my feet. I knew the exact spot where the rust corroded them and the train got off track. People in it started screaming and panicking and hitting their heads against the walls. Insanity. That's why I chose to focus on our way. I was
And finally, the screen changed.
Finally!
Yeah.
We don't have to blur it out, right? We are an adults.
I mean, yeah, I don't give a too damn about it, so...
Yeah, well, we don't get any money from YouTube, so we can show anything
Yep.
anyway. Not boobs, but everything
Yeah.
else.
Dead crows and stuff.
I was afraid to lose the path because it was like a thin tightrope that was saving me from falling into the void where evil spirits were crying my name. So, the part where I rage quit was about one therapy and the other one a Rorschach test being mentioned. It's like the least used method in psychology, and it's not even in any way, well,
I mean, basically, what Rorschach test is like a series of pictures, like, what do you see here? What do you see here? What do you see here?
yeah, and you can't use the I forgot my English.
Now?
You can't use the results because it's not
Oh.
repeatable, and it is purely,
Individual.
yeah, it's different for everyone, so
Yeah.
you can't use the results, so why use it? It's just and somehow see how different someone sees things, but other than that it's not used ever. But okay, she didn't mention that it was used in the therapy, so alright, but
Yeah, we'll give it a pass.
mentioning anyway is for me as a psychology student. It's not
Triggered.
triggered, yes, hashtag triggered. I think that's the name of my part.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. You need to calm down to pull yourself together. Ashley?
Just replace Ashley with Kaja and you'll get straight. What to do right now.
Leave it in the comments, guys. I have to calm down and pull myself together. You have to be ready when the game begins. Seems like I buried my head into the sand too deeply, but fortunately a rough male voice dug me out.
Stop fooling around. I thought you got goosebumps and we are not in the house yet. What are you afraid of, Powerhouse? I'm pretty sure you're the fastest among us all, and even if we run into a serial killer in the freaking house, you will be able to run away.
Right, the killer would carve my enormous body as I've put on a couple of kilos this week. Yes, of course you did. I won't even glance at the cake. What cake? They didn't bring anything to eat, or drink for that matter.
I mean, there could be cake in the house, but then again, cake could be a lie.
The cake is probably a lie. Everyone laughed, but Martin started to comfort his girlfriend by telling her that she had a nice figure.
Oh yeah, because if he doesn't do that, the killing will start now.
Probably. She does look that way. Especially, why is she dressed like that if they're in the middle of the woods?
Have you seen how the I forgot her name?
Grace, yeah, with
yeah,
her
Grace.
with her mini skirt, but
Yep.
Still, she has more body covered, skin covered than Kate.
Yes, and that's strange in here now. In a strange way, yes, it actually is true.
I grinned. She really was a slim girl, and just wanted to be in the spotlight, as always. But today, nothing will save her. I looked forward, me too, don't worry. Unexpectedly, I found myself ahead of everybody and didn't even remember how I left them behind. It was as usual, as summer rain and as sudden as snow in the beginning of July. I had to be first. I need to see it first. Mysterious forces were guiding me to that place. I was just a fish caught on the hook of curiosity pulling me to the fisherman. Every new location had its own atmosphere. When I was wandering along the halls of the inoperative factory, I felt like I was trapped in the black hole of sorrow. The wet windows of the abandoned hospital were crying with raindrops of various shapes which constantly changed and drew enormous pictures, as if invented by inflamed imagination. Could those people talk more? I have to read so much.
Yeah.
Eventually I saw it.
I could step in if you want.
I can continue until we get to a conversation and then we can switch it up.
Oh yeah.
I guess it was a fateful moment, so I wanted to have a proper look at it. At first, I saw contours behind the dense pine needles. It was like a shadow, but then some significant parts of the building started to make out. We were quite far away from it, but I noticed that just for a moment the lights on the first floor turned on, and then one more time, just like a lighthouse. Is it the house or my imagination?
Probably your imagination.
Probably, yes. If I saw or heard something odd, I would think that I was crazy, and I would be more casual than any other things going on in my life. I can't decide yet whether the house is a friend or an enemy. Of course, its purpose is clear to me, as it always was, regardless of location or building. But despite its purpose, maybe this house decides for itself.
Because it's an independent and strong house.
It definitely is. It's a beautiful, beautiful woman house.
Yep.
I can't explain why, but somehow it is alive. All the places where they became alive for me, because things just couldn't be so simple when someone like me is involved. What are you then? Anyway, if I stick to the plan, this house will play nice. Or not? It may be as treacherous as a devil, hiding the delicious candies, the cake, inside the hungry jaws of doom. The house gazed at me with its lightless windows. They were dark.
Okay, can I ask this now? How much more text before we actually get to the house?
We're almost in.
Okay.
Almost. They were dark like the eyes of the blind, but I knew that it watched me very carefully. Out of the blue, a hoarse voice broke down this strange connection between us. Thank you, not Martin. What was his name? Lloyd.
Lloyd, yes.
Now I knew that I wasn't the only one who was looking at the house, which meant that it saw us all.
Whoa, the damn thing is huge.
It is Martin!
Sad. Not that, Grace. How did you find it?
Don't fool yourself. You might think it was hard to discover such a place, but the house stands right in the glade. Why is Kate answering for Grace?
Because she can?
Nah.
Because she's a bitch?
Yes, she's the attention whore, so I
Yeah.
guess. I bet some naughty local children run around the house pretending to be ghost hunters or something.
Have a grab, will you?
What's wrong? Everybody knows ghost stories are for children. Am I right, guys? Do you want to read the narrator now?
Okay. No one said a word. We continued approaching the house in dead silence. I was so deep in my thoughts that I jumped when I suddenly heard the metal click hit the wooden planks. And then I found myself standing in front of the empty door.
Freedom, finally.
She dropped off her backpack and stretched herself out on the porch. Oh yes, we finally have to see Grace now. I've missed her weird outfit, let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I'm still amazed at that over knee stocking to
Oh, yeah.
actually hold in place when the clip isn't attached.
I mean, it's the power of magic of visual novels.
Of hotness. Yes.
Yes, of course.
Tired already. Maybe we should go inside first.
Looks like the door is locked. I don't think the ghosts are dying to beat us. Well, duh, they already dead. Put your helmet on and meet the damn ghost yourself. You're really pain in my ass.
You are so sweet, guys.
Let me handle this stupid door. Oh, hold on, boy. Now what?
I'm working on it.
While these idiots were searching for the way in, I was picking the lock with my own skeleton. I'm not sure how many doors this already conquered. It was the same as picking tiger's teeth to see how it digestives work. Something moved. I couldn't say for sure, but it felt like the mouth of the door took a tight grip on the skeleton key with its metal tongue and devoured it.
Seriously?
I just like how she's pissed and done with all this crap and looking at her face.
It's the third sentence she said in this whole game so far.
I mean, we are like talking about narrative stuff, so I got mad and kicked the damn door.
What the hell?
The door was opening slowly, with a squeaky old like crap sound. However, it resembled the screams of the tortured soul. I just couldn't bear it.
Nice job.
I approached the door, but I didn't open it. It opened itself. What's going on here? And I think it's a good point that we end this episode.
Alright. We can see how much Ashley and the girls are talking, and the guys, of course,
Yeah, okay.
and switch it around. Maybe we can say one part it's you, the next part it's me, like that. It's easier to figure out, maybe.
Yeah, let's do that. Do you mean like by sentences or like the thing, then the dialogue, then the thing?
The thing in the dialogue? What do we mean? No, more of let's say, okay, the last two parts it was mainly me, so this part of your recording is you being the narrator, so the next part it's me again, I guess.
So, it was very dusty inside the house. Also, my headphones are slipping, so yeah.
Rip headphones. Looks like the ghosts aren't very hospitable.
Everyone laughed except Lloyd. He gave Kate a significant look.
Oh, does it
I
now?
think everyone knows that you don't believe in such shit. Can you please stop?
Well, she's seeking the attentions of everyone.
Oh yeah.
So maybe she's even trying to attract ghosts. Who knows? Maybe they do exist, and we just can't see them. Ooh.
Why am I remembering the scary movie now? The ghost scene. I think my channel is maybe like 18 plus.
I would hope so, since we are swearing and
I mean, yeah.
talking about horror movies, horror games that are normally 18 plus.
Yep. Well, I mean, I don't give a damn about the YouTube thing because
Monetization,
any
yeah.
money, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it would be
think, yes.
nice. It would be nice. YouTube or any other sponsor. We're here. We are looking for some money. We do
Yeah.
need it. Um,
We're cool guys. We can sell you stuff.
yep, and
Promotion
we
value.
promise to swear at least less.
That's on her part. I don't promise anything.
And what's wrong? Darkness is so scary. Am I right, big boy? Come on, I'm just teasing you. It's fun.
But it's not like that.
So you tell me, but what can hide behind the shadow curtains? There are no curtains, though.
Yeah.
If it's not a ghost or a phantom, then what is it?
Your mom.
Oh,
It isn't my fear. It's a freaking mental disorder. The name is nyctophobia. If I remember correctly, this is like the fear of darkness.
yeah, Nycto, so it's probably from Nyx, so the night,
Yeah.
so the fear of darkness or the night, I guess. But I didn't look it up, so I wouldn't know. But I think he does say what it means, but not sure. Make sure that your flashlight, or she says it in a different way. Make
Yeah.
sure that your flashlight is not dead, or you'll be in trouble. Don't even count on mine.
Everyone laughed again because
They are
that's the people who laugh
stupid
at stupid
people.
jokes.
Wow.
Yeah. There was no need in flashlights anymore. The glowing eye of the full moon illuminated the house pretty well, but when we were outside, it suddenly was dark. It was very strange.
Do you see
Oh.
these candles everywhere?
I mean, it's 1, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are 14 candles if you don't count the...
By the door,
on
there it
ceiling.
continues.
okay,
18,
yeah.
19, behind the safe are probably some more.
21, 23. About 25 candles in one room.
I would say it's pretty lit.
It's pretty lit. Though it looks like it wasn't a big deal for anyone except me. Even though the candles peeked out from literally every corner of the room. Yeah, what we just talked about. I think everyone thought it was Grace's joke or something. This place aroused my curiosity and I wanted to explore it a little bit. There were a few pictures hanging on the walls. To be exact, some of them had fallen off and were lying on the floor like dead rats, which with twisted paper tails. I saw no mirrors in the room, thank God, but it was only the first floor. Still, I'm glad.
Are you a vampire?
Yeah, houses are like narrators of people's life, made to tell the stories of their owners. And this one was choking on dust and death. This armchair looked really cute. It was old and fractured, but I still knew that its appearance was a lie. Even the carpet was old and shabby for every second of its existence. I was aware of those tricks, and I knew I had a little time. I took the cell phone out of my pocket and looked at the display. I saw that the connection was lost and that it was already 8 p.m. The clock was ticking. What clock was ticking? You're looking at the clock on your phone.
Well, it's just a saying that the time is
Yeah.
running out. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't make sense in our time since no one had, or most people do not have analog clocks anymore that do the ticking.
Yeah.
They're getting
But
less and
like,
less.
oh, by the way, about analog clocks. So the other day I saw a freaking amazing thing. So if you Google Jet Black 2 or something like that, the first link will get you to a site where you could literally like oh, this expensive work is now $0, and this expensive work is now $0. You can do it. You can order it for free. And at first I was like, oh, cool, actually. So I almost ordered it, but then my brains kicked in, and I was like, okay, wait. Um, if this is for free, I'm not sure the shipping will be free.
Oh, did you go to Wish?
Yeah. So,
The shipping is not free. You have to pay for the shipping. But it does say it. You only have to pay for the shipping.
yeah. So basically, what this disguise this is a scam, obviously, because nothing in this life is free except death, and even then, death costs you like hundreds of dollars for the coughing, for the ceremony, for the
But
food to your
not you
stupid
personally,
alive
but
relatives.
your loved ones.
Yeah. So try not to die if you want to save some money. That's the negative of today's episode.
We're very thoughtful people, and so yeah, be nice and stay alive.
And try not to try not to die in the process of being alive. And yeah. So anyhow, Emma should turn up soon. I hope she would find the house. At least I drew her a map. While exploring the room with the fireplace, I found boxes full of candles. Even more candles. I smiled.
The fire hazard isn't big enough.
Yeah, we would need them later. By the way, I smiled wryly. For some reason, I can't stop thinking about like a thing from JoJo. The Dio did. Hell, I can't speak this language properly. And of course, there was a book. It is the most important item. I just don't know how to do it without some extraordinary stuff.
This
Or
reminds me
sleep
now
with
of
more
the Babysitter, I think is the name of the horror movie. Splatter more so, but
I really don't know what you're talking about.
oh, it's not the best horror movie you can watch. It's about a small boy that is really insecure and being bullied, and he has this super hot babysitter.
Well, of course it is.
And of course he has a crush on her, but turns out she is part of a demonic cult and harvesting him for his blood. It ends with him killing everyone, but and of course she has that big old book with demonic
Ritual violence.
stuff like that. Yes,
Okay.
that's why it reminds me of that now.
Of course, I was no amateur in this kind of cuisine. You could call me the chef of the kitchen, I guess, so I knew it from A to Z. I looked at the others. They all were wearing the same smiling faces, except Lloyd. This poor creature. Poor, idiotic creature.
Let's hope for him he dies first, so he doesn't have to
Yeah.
suffer for much longer.
Oh, he wanted to blow Grace's skirt up, literally.
Ah, God.
Sadly for him, it's not going to happen. Ever. Girls have already prepared their sleeping bags and spread some blankets on the floor. The scary house was slowly turning into some kind of warm, lovely nest. But I rushed to conclusions. Oh, something interesting is happening now. The strings of fear caught us in its web when we saw a straw doll on the sofa. Her button eyes pierced us through as if staring at our souls. Somewhere behind the skin there was a hole full of screams which couldn't reach our mouth. The apple of her eye was black like a rotten dead fruit, and the flickering hellfire of the candles made it seem more satanic. Lloyd nearly shit bricks when he saw this evil thing. The guy made a very strange screaming-like sound. Kate just couldn't miss the joke. She took her cell phone out of the pocket and her fingers started to dance on the phone keypad. Suddenly she began a made-up dialogue pretending there was someone on the other end of the line.
Hello, is this the mother of one wicked straw doll who I tend to know? Good. Tell your child to stay out of the light because she's too scary for our little Lloyd. Your ghost scared him to death, you know.
That is very, that is very funny. Go to hell, guys. Enough with this canny shit for one evening. Bud rushed to the sofa and grabbed the straw doll. Give me a hand, man. Light it up, man, Marty. Marty gave his lighter to Lloyd, and this idiot threw the doll into the fireplace. With her hair set on fire, but the flame died immediately. Ah, the damn witch! Why don't you just perish? You are a real idiot. It's a doll, not a baby ship. You need to light the fireplace first.
No, she has clothes and she's a straw doll.
Yeah.
She should burn like fire. Yay!
Again, visual novels logic. They have to find some wood in some, I don't know, basement stuff or like cellar, whatever this is called, and probably get killed in the process.
We can use books or newspapers.
Everyone glanced at me in surprise. Well, there are always some books in the house. It's an ordinary thing. We could search for them. I almost got caught. Of course, I knew the books were here. I know everything about this place. There was a playroom on the second floor, kitchen on the ground floor, and a bathroom. I was connected to this house, and I could almost hear squeaking mice gnawing,
I think.
gnawing it, beating hard behind the walls. Whatever that means. But it was only a strange delusion living in my mind.
They're eating the
Yeah.
yard, so they're slowly eating through.
These morons looked in every corner of the house, but found nothing. So it was my turn.
Here they are. Jeez, they are heavy.
Lloyd approached me and took the books. Congratulations, Miss Ashley. I'm appointing you to the Master of Darwin position now.
Thanks a lot.
I faked a clumsy smile that almost turned into disgust. You know what? Like Inquisition, and again, like nobody is expecting the Spanish Inquisition to show up.
They would have waterboarded and questioned the doll first if she has witchcraft in it.
I mean, yeah, they would. So, where are you going? It's time to punish the sinner.
Maybe you can deal with this on your own,
Don't be a pussy. It's a joke.
says
You are
the
the
pussy.
justice. Yeah.
Make the evil doer pay. Yes.
Evil door face. Okay, cool. I don't know what the doll did to you. The doll?
She scared him.
Yeah. Just by existing, it's like, oh, a bad thing. Yeah, kill it. What did you do to you? Nothing. It's scary. Kill it.
Well, that's what the LGBTQ community must have felt like a few years back, just being shunned for being what they are or feeling what they feel.
Yeah.
And that's
I-
like, why?
I don't get that attitude. It's like the people can be whatever they want and can feel whatever they want and can be whoever they want. That's it. So I don't get that attitude.
Yeah,
What
but
I-
we grew up in a different kind of environment and we learned to be more open from the get-go.
Yeah, it's a slow process, but eventually, I hope, at least, we'll get to the point where people can be clear with themselves and other selves who they are, what they want to feel, what they want to express, and all that stuff.
Yeah, but first, the image of the ideal family has to change in some ways. That it is okay, or that kids, it's especially on the kids, that since they will grow up and figure out that they might be in love with someone of the same gender or do not identify as the gender they are born as and something like that, that they realize that it's totally okay and that they can just live the way they want to and not be afraid to tell their parents or friends or people they love that they feel the way they do.
Yeah, because like the thing is, the parents should be the ones who to explain this type of things to the kids. Like it's okay to feel this or that. It's okay to act like this or act like that. It's like basic things as okay. If you're like if you're hurt, you are allowed to cry, whether you're a boy or girl. If you are angry, it's okay to fight back. Again, whether you're a boy or girl, because in this society, everything is divided. This is girly stuff, or this is only what men can do. No, fucking not.
Yeah, there's a debate to get quota in for these more technical studies for women, so that they have to hit a certain quota of women in those areas, and I'm like, the girls have to be interested in it first, and they get from their teachers and parents, they hear, oh, boys are better in math and all those science and stuff like that, so they are naturally going away from these subjects and do not study them because they think they are worse than boys or men later on, but they are not. But because they think they are, they get worse in these subjects, and that's how the circle repeats. It is just crazy that something like that is happening. It's like, it's not based on gender if you got good in any subject. It's the work you put in, if you're interested in it, and yeah, if the teacher is good.
That's actually the point. Like the teacher, the parents, it's all on the older generation to carry, to teach, to learn new generation stuff. But I must say, before we continue and before we get back to lighting the straw on fire, which we went away from, why, and I don't know how we ended up in this discussion. But anyhow, the last thing I want to say is, generally speaking, there are some jobs that are more fit to either to men or either to women. And it's not based on professional skills or whatever. It is more based on men are more physically stronger than
based on the body build. But then again,
upper body strength, and men are mostly the ones who are working in the mine shaft and in dangerous jobs, because again they're it's the fact that they're stronger. So what?
Yeah, but they are normally also have in their childhood have more freedom to explore and something like that. And girls, especially nowadays, are brought at all times by their parents to school, to their kindergarten, and do not learn that it is okay to stray from the path and explore. As long as you get home. As long as you find a way home, it is totally okay. And don't follow strangers. But they are not allowed to, and that way they lose that sense of direction later on and are unable to find their way if they get lost. I have very open-minded parents. I was allowed to find my own ways, and I was going to school with my neighbor. So we made a game out of it to change our road to school and from school home every day and find new hidden places. And we played in the fields and stuff like that. Found some bushes. We made our main hiding spot and something like that. And it was so much fun, and I really profited from it. Now you can put me in a city somewhere and I will find my way back to the station because I learned how to do it, how to find my landmarks and find my way from there.
So,
Alright.
basically, the lesson we learned today: be whatever you want and don't let anyone or anything stop you, as long as you
Safe.
know what you're doing and you're safe. So yeah, that's the lesson.
we really have to use this the more you know.
Yeah, the more you know me.
Constantly.
I'm too lazy to edit this. Way too lazy to edit this shit. Maybe one day.
Come on.
What I did with the man thing. Maybe one day. But anyhow, let's get back to the doll burning ritual.
Yeah.
You lend me a lighter. If it were not for the rules, I would beat him hard.
Okay.
I set fire to one of the pages and threw the book on the pile of other books. They turned to ashes in seconds, but the door was still in flames. I was watching her face turning black in the bright scarlet flame. Tongues of fire played with the stitches of the doll's face, and for a moment I saw a wicked smile. I heard agonized screams in my hand. There was something... a phone. On the other end of the line, tires rubbing against the ground, grinding of metal bones crackling, front windows smashing to pieces. I feel shards of glass stuck in my neck. They pierced my chest and my heart. Maybe the explosion torn their limbs off, or maybe it was a meteor falling from the sky, or they were buried alive by some psycho. It doesn't matter. They are dead. I can't stand it anymore. I've relived this nightmare over 1,000,000 times. I relived the day when it was all gone. Without knowing it, I touched the tooth which I was always carrying in my pocket. Why would you carry a tooth in your pocket? This and some other questions we wouldn't know the answer to.
Well, what I believe what she remembers is the car accident, but it was such a strange sudden turn to it that it's like, what is going on? Did we miss something?
Yeah. But wait, car accident?
Yeah, apparently it was before our conversation, before we went into the house, even. It was a small sentence telling us that she lost her parents and brother in a car accident.
Oh, yeah.
Or in a fire?
Yeah, no.
They're at least dead. That's the important
Yeah.
thing we have to get out of this.
She lost her parents and her brother in some tragic way.
Yes.
It was some kind of visual, but not as useless as most of them. It was more than effective. For a moment, sorrow in my eyes changed to coldness. My fingers released the tooth, and I looked at Lloyd.
Satisfied.
Yeah, but you're the sinner like everyone else. That's why you should be punished. I'll turn you on the minute. Wait, I'll turn you on the minute I turn off the light in the bedroom. Oh god.
You can try.
Oh god. No, just don't. Oh, do give me a chance to evade this lightning kiss. I've almost died of disgust as his tongue touched my cheek, like a maggot lurking in the corpse. That's very specific reference, but his lips were as cold as dead men.
But why would he go for a tongue kiss if he knows that she won't return it? Ugh, that's so
I
gross.
mean, he's an idiot.
He is. He definitely is. Ugh. Just thinking about it. Ugh.
It's not a very pleasant picture to imagine.
Alright, let's continue and not think about this.
Yeah.
Unless you want to end it here, I think we have reported quite a bit.
Yeah, we should probably end it here, but let's just end the dialogue, maybe.
Alright. I guess I'll pass. I'd rather confess my sins.
I confess, yes. I smiled wryly and wiped his icy touch from skin with my sleeve. Actually, there's one thing you're right about. Everyone sins. Lloyd shrugged his shoulders and began unpacking his things.
It's present giving time.
And we'll end it right here because you're not seeing what the presents are until the next episode. I mean, but anyway, this is gonna be it for today's episode of Silence the House. If you enjoyed what you saw, well, you know what to do. Again, go check out Kaja because she needs more love and support than I will ever do. So yeah, do that now.
Stay with
Okay,
Nick.
bye.
Bye bye.